Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping, a place where we can chat, connect, and create together. A reason I'm kind of laughing is just as I went to press the live button, my phone did a flip around kind of thing, and so I was scrambling to get the phone all back up and ready to go here. So it's going to be one of those nights perhaps where things are interesting, shall we say. My name is Lillian with Stampers Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And today's date is September the 2nd. Hard to believe it's September. This weekend it was gorgeous, sunny, hot. It was an outdoor weekend for sure. So it doesn't really feel like September, although we are seeing the harvest happening and eating corn on the cob. So maybe as we go down to our desktop, share a little bit about what you did this weekend or what you're looking forward to in September. So let's make sure that I can switch around again. Maybe I can't. Okay. My phone is doing weird things. There we go. So welcome everyone, and let us know what you did this weekend or what you're looking forward to. Maybe that's something you can share with us, and make sure at least you say hi or give a thumbs up or something so that we know you're there. So those of you who are here tonight, welcome to I'm glad you spent the end of your long weekend with us. And as you can see, this is something that I am looking forward to. Somebody say, Irene worked on a home renovation project and worked on Christmas cards. Well, good for you. It sounds like a productive weekend for you. That's excellent. Harry has been busy picking apples. And I think he's done. I'm hoping that he's done. Anyway, our freezer is full to the brim with sliced apples, apple pies, applesauce. We're going to live well on apples this year. And now our corn is ready, so have been enjoying that. So let me just talk a little bit about this. This is something that I am really looking forward to, and the magic date, you can circle it on your calendar. It's only a couple of sleeps away. It's September the 4th. September the 4th, I can show you the inside of this catalog. You can see it online. You can order from it. All kinds of fun things. So that is one of the things that I am looking forward to. Another thing I'm looking forward to is, but also online, only be online, there's a new scrapbooking line of products. And they've been rushing to get it out because we've welcomed many scrapbookers to Stampin' Up! Family. And so it is there, and they are kits and they look really neat. And of course, scrapbooking and card making, they go together and everything can be used back and forth. So there's that. Also, there's going to be a lot of alsos here. They are releasing a line of paper that is double-sided. So it's 12 by 12, so double-sided is not new, pardon me. It is the same color, but it's a different tone on each side. So one side of the paper will be, say for example, if it was a red, might be a deep red, and on the other side it would be a light red. So I'm really looking forward to that too. So let me just look at my list. Oh, I know. Big thing at 9:30 Mountain Time in the morning on September the 4th, Marilyn, Joanne, and I are coming together to do a live catalog reveal. And once this is over, I will put the link in the description, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, so that you can make sure that you're part of it. And of course, if you're busy at 9:30, you can always watch the replay. But we are going to unlock and share some of the little treasures that are in here and some of the big treasures. And it's always so much fun to everybody sees something different when they look through the catalogs because there's so much in them. But that's something. So that's on Wednesday morning at 9:30. Another thing that's being released September the 4th are 2 new kits. Now, if you've looked inside your catalog, and if you don't have a catalog and want one, just reach out if you live in Canada. I can only send them to Canadians, but I can definitely do that. On page 8 and 9, you might have seen some little ornaments as part of a display. Well, that is going to be a kit, and that will be available, because some of you have been asking about that, and it will be available on September 4th. I have a feeling it's going to fly off the shelves. Another kit, if you look, in fact, if you've got your catalog, you might be wanting to have it with you. On page 11, and up in the corner up here, there's a box to store cards in, and then some cards. That's a kit, and that's going to become available too. So all kinds of special things. So let's talk about one of the things in here. So last week, during Monday night stamping, I gave you a sneak peek of the bundle that has this little punch in it, and we made this card. And then during the week, I popped on and showed you another suite of products that has different die shapes. It has this great embossing folder. It has wonderful designer paper. It has stamps and all kinds of things. So I showed you that. So I wanted to show you something else, and it's called Winterly Treetops. And I think I'm going to start with my Get Acquainted sheet. So this is on page 30 and 31. It's a 2-page spread, because it's called, the whole suite is called Nests of Winter. And I'm here to show you tonight that it's not just for winter. This suite of products will make great masculine cards, birthday cards, spring, summer, fall, winter, Christmas, even Valentine's if you want. I think you could do it. So here is what the dies do. So the dies look like this. So you've got this big one here that makes a frame, and it also makes a great mask for sponging, by the way. So that is this. And then some of the dies cut out these shapes. So these are stamped shapes. Some of the dies are standalone. We can never have too many branches, right? And then we have these two here. And when you layer them together, when you put this on top of this, guess what you get? This, which reminds me of Pussy Willows, which is spring, but I'm going to show you something else that it does too. And then in the designer paper, there is one sheet, and you can see I've been taking chunks out of it. This paper here, this sheet of paper from the whole set, the dies cut out this shape here, and, whoops, let's get it. Where am I going here? This one, I really have used these before. This one right here. So that's why I have these two on my Get Acquainted sheet. They're cut right from the designer paper. And I don't know about you, but I even use all of the little edge pieces that might have just part of a bird or something, because I use them on the inside or somewhere like that. So I tend to use the whole thing. Now the back of this paper is wonderful pool party like that. In fact, I'm going to show you the paper right now. So it's 12 by 12, but what I'm going to show you is 6 by 6. Yes, Karen, it's a wonderful suite, and the more I play with it, the more wonderful it becomes. So this is one of those sheets that it has the same design coming this way, and you can cut it up and make cards just really simple and quick and easy. So there's this one here, and then this pattern on the back. And so there's crumb cake, basic beige, lots of birds on one side, but pool party. So you can see it's not just for Christmas, although it has a Christmas flair. And this looks autumny to me. And then we've got our greens. And have any of you noticed in stores that green is really having a moment? Green is really big right now, especially that mossy meadow type of color. And then there's this one, and then this is also one of my favorites, likely. It's got the birch trees with the birds, just I love it. But I love this side too. So there's that. And then there's this. That looks like Pussy Willows again to me. And then we've got this birch looking here. So you might be saying, why do you have them cut in half already? That's because I'm offering a class where you would get the 6 of the 6x12 sheets, so one of each. You would also get the coordinating gems, the earth tone gems, and we're going to use those tonight. And you would also get 2 yards each of the twine. So that's going to be part of the class. It was in my newsletter today, but I'll put a link to the class in the description again too. So the twine comes like this, and there are 10 yards in each roll, and the colors are copper clay, garden green, and night of navy, but I find they go with a lot of other things too. But just super things. Oh, I forgot to show you the stamp set. Here's the stamp set, Winterly Treetops. So the dies cut out these images here. But look at sending thanks with much love. You could even just use the word love and switch it over to a Valentine's, right? A friend like you brings me happiness. You could cut the always off of here and put always down here. You can mix and match afterwards, right? So there are all kinds, I think even sympathy cards. I think this is just a really useful set. So let me just show you the gems. These I have been using. So they come in the 4 colors and 2 sizes. There's a larger and a smaller, and they do shimmer, and they're not too high. They're actually reasonably flat so that they go in the mail easily. And you might see here, yes, you can color with your blends and make them any color you want as well. So these are just great. So the colors here are copper clay, very vanilla, crumb cake, and garden green. But again, I've been using them on all sorts of things. Now, you might say, how did you find out the colors? I went to the online store and looked at Show Me More and just jotted the colors down from there. And there's one more thing from this suite of products, and that is this super duper Birchwood 3D embossing folder, which we are going to use tonight. So it's one of the giant ones. It is 8.5, 6 by 8.5. So you could almost put 2 things in there. And so there's that. So again, for a suite, you can pick and choose. You can get it all. You can get just one thing, whatever. But do check that suite out. And my phone is starting to dip again. I must have a loose connection here somewhere on my stand. I'm not sure where it is. Anyway, time to get started on our card. So it's actually a fairly simple layout, and I chose to go with thick basic white as the card base just because I thought it showed things off. So it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. I'm just going to burnish that fold. Now I want to cut an opening in here, and I will show you another card where I used a circle, but I wanted to just say, well, sometimes I'm going for a wreath look, and wreaths are often in circles, but sometimes there's a swag, and then some of the modern ones are square, right? So I thought, why not go back to what we used earlier in the week, the Peaceful Season dies, and cut a square opening here, and we're going to have a square wreath. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine right here. Take some of this stuff off, in fact, everything, and then we'll start to build it up. So we're going to put, we've got the platform, which is plate 1, then we're putting plate 2, and then we're putting a clear plate 3, and then we're doing this. And I always make sure everything's straight. Now, one of the reasons, well, I'll explain that later. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So I'm just going to place this about where I want it, and I'm going to use a bit of tape to hold it in place so that it doesn't shift. Put another plate 3 on top, another clear plate on top, and cut the opening. Just like that. Whoop. And then I hit the camera, right? It's going to be a bad night for the camera, I have a feeling. I'm going to take that off gently. Now we've got this that we can use on another project, but we're not going to use it right now. So we're going to put that to the side. What we wanted was the opening. That's all. Now I want to, must have had something on that plate. We'll get rid of that. There we go. Now I want to emboss it. And I made sure to fold it before embossing because sometimes we lose that fold if we don't do that. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute so I can show you. So what I'm going to do is I want to use the embossing folder on the front. So I'm going to try to line the edge up approximately with the fold. If I go over a little bit, that's okay. And I'll slide it up here a little bit. And I'm going to emboss this. Now, I did try doing the embossing and then the cutting. And it didn't work well because the machine flattened the embossing and it didn't look so good. So now we've gone back to right to the platform. For one, we've got this ready. We're going to put the fold in first, and we're going to put the specialty plate 4 on top, and we are going to make sure the edges are all lined up. I had some classes recently where I had some people that forgot to do that, and some of my folders got a little ratchet on the end. Still usable on the edges, pardon me. Still usable, but it is hard because then it jams against the edge of your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and it doesn't look very good. There we go. So now we have this look here. So we've got it embossed like that. I'll move all this out of the way. And how many of you love that birch embossing folder? I think it's just gorgeous. And of course you could always highlight it if you wanted that kind of thing. So what did I just do here? There we go. Now we are going to stamp. Well, no, we're not. We are going to, wait a moment. We're going to do a little stamping. We are going to focus in on this. I wanted to make this more a fall card to show you that it's not just winter, and wreaths are always good, right? So I thought, well, I already have it mounted, so I'm going just with the wreath, and I'm going to stamp it in Memento Black and then color it with my blends. So we'll ink this up. And I love inking them up when the stamp is upside down. I can see then that it's got ink everywhere that it's supposed to have ink. And we will stamp it there. Remember to put the pressure where the stamp is. You don't need to put pressure on the edge of your block. Put the pressure where the stamp is and just be firm. You don't have to get too crazy about it. So there we go. And so I played around when I was designing this card, and I thought I would like one of the berries to be yellow, and I would like a couple of the berries to be pumpkin pie, and maybe a couple of them to be blackberry bliss. Now you could do whatever you want, but that was my thinking. I thought those were kind of fall colors. So I'm going to start with the pumpkin pie. And I'm one of the people that likes to use the bullet end. And I also like to, sorry, I'm trying to think what colors I want where. I also like to start with my dark color first. So I'm just going to color part of this. I have one colored for you, but I wanted to show you how I progressed through it. So then I bring my light in and I pull the dark as well and just go like that. I love how effortlessly blends color. You don't have to press very hard. You just have to make sure it's touching the paper. And they do all the work. And with having the light and the dark, it's just super. I love it. Who else loves blends? Or do you have something else you like to color with? I know that I was a watercolor pencil crayon person before, but blends just made it so much easier, and my hand didn't get so tired either. So what do you like to use if you're coloring, or do you like to color? I often, if I'm traveling, I will take something to color for a project. Bonnie, you love the blends too? Oh, that's super. Yeah, they are my best friend when it comes to coloring. So those were the colors I did for the berries. I know there are more berries. I'm just doing a few here. Then for the leaves, I went into the greens, and I've got old olive here. I've got light and dark old olive. Got to make sure here. Let me read the writing on them. Okay, where are we? Yeah, these are old olive and mossy meadow, because those are the colors I'm seeing everywhere, right? So I'm taking the old olive and I'm going to do all the big leaves. Old olive, I'll just do a couple. So I just kind of do a few flaky things. I don't know what you would call that. And then I come back in with the light color and pull that dark out and fill in everything else. But everybody does something different. And I have to admit, I've changed how I use blends over the years. It used to be that I started with the light, went with the dark. I used to use the brush hand. It's just whatever works for you. And that's the joy of crafting, isn't it? Now I'm going to use Mossy Meadow on the little ones. And I'm just going to do a little flick from the bottom, like that. And then bring in the light and pull that out. Like that. And then I would just continue on until I was finished. And then once you're finished, you can bring in this die and it's going to cut that out perfectly. So what I have done for you is I have done one of those here. So let me just bring it up. Look at that. Can't you just imagine this colored? My brain has been going. Colored, well, in Christmas colors, but also maybe in blues or in spring colors. Like, that's the artistic license, right? We don't have to stick with the realistic colors. We can go with whatever we want, or maybe even purples. What colors do you think you would do this wreath in? Any ideas? I see a lot of love for the blends coming in. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to fasten it here, like, yeah, about like that. And we're going to stamp our greeting in here. So I chose the greeting, sending thanks with much love. Now, you've seen the different colors that I've used. What colors should I stamp the sentiment in? Should I stamp it in Blackberry Bliss? Let me just, hey, that's what I can do. I can hold it underneath. Should I stamp it? Well, let's tuck this. What have I got here? Yeah. Blackberry Bliss, Copper Clay, Pumpkin Pie. Blackberry Bliss, Copper Clay, or Pumpkin Pie. Yes, enamel dots would look great on this, Bonnie. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to reinforce that. Blackberry Bliss. Okay, Blackberry Bliss it is. Here we go. We're going to move that. And I'm just going to hold this because it just affects where I'm going to stamp, right? Because if I stamped it too far this way, I'd be where the wreath was covering it. So I'm going to keep it a little bit this way. I'm going to use my glass mat, which I just love, here, and sending thanks with much love. There we go. So we've got that stamped. So when you open it up, you've already got the inside done too. Now, if I had messed up, I could always stamp it again on here and then tuck that in, right? But fortunately, I didn't mess up. So we've got that. And I die cut a few other things out ahead of time. So we said Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. Here's my Mossy Meadow. That one I was playing with. Here it is. Mossy Meadow. Another Old Olive. And that's a Mossy Meadow that I've inked up. Now we're going to put this here. We're going to tuck a couple of leaves in. And we'll talk about how to dress those leaves up in a minute. And then we're going to put, I think, a little sprig of that looks like a pussy willow. So we can use the copper clay, pumpkin pie, or blackberry bliss, and we're going to put this on top. So it's going to end up looking like this. So what do you think? While you're thinking about that, what I'm going to do is ink up the edges of these leaves just to add a little more dimension. Pumpkin pie, this one here. Okay, we will go with that one. We need those pieces. These can go for the next project. And we're going to ink up these and then we'll start to build. There we go. I'm going to bring in my, I don't know where my silicone mat went. Well, we'll live dangerously then. We will add a little a little glue to this so that it dries a little bit. This liquid glue stays tacky even when it's dry. And often if you're afraid if it's going to ooze a little bit, it's wise to let it dry a bit. Okay, I said a bit a lot there, didn't I? I'm going to bring in this, and I'm going to bring in my Old Olive ink and my Mossy Meadow. So what I'm doing is, you can see it's like that, but let's have a look at it once I've put some color on the edges. And I've got one done already, so. And look at how it changes the look. Just adds a little bit more depth to it. And we'll just clean that off. I just re-inked my Old Olive, so it's pretty juicy. And we'll bring in the Mossy Meadow. And we'll do the Mossy Meadow once. We're just doing tone on tone. And again, I've done one of them, but I wanted to show you what I was doing and how they look different once they've done that. I have one client who she loves to ink the edges of everything. That's her special touch. That's what she's known for. And while we've got this here, we will bring this up. And you see this little dip here? It sort of hugs, okay, Lillian, hang on to it. Hugs that, and you just guide it along. And just like that, you have the branch. So you've got the two colors there. Love it. Love, love, love. Okay, now we're going to fasten this here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in mini dimensionals just because they're easier to work with. And I'm going to put them right on here because I don't want to glue my card shut, right? So we'll put one in the corner and one here and one here. And let's see. And then I can put one here and here. Now you can see that my blends soaked through, and not only that, I had stamped something else on this. And when you look at it from this side, it's going to show, right? I have a solution. So we're going to fix that. So I'm going to take the dimensional backings off, and I'm just going to rest them on the dimensionals because I want to be able to tuck the leaves in. So we're going to do a little wreath arranging here. So we're going to, so this one's got to go. It's going to show. So we're going to go, like that. We don't want to go over the edge. And now we're going to tuck some leaves in. So let's tuck a leaf in here maybe. I'll glue them after I've decided how I like them. And we'll put one in here, this in here. And we'll put a color up here. I actually quite like that. I don't know what you think, but I'm pleased with how that's coming along. So now I will glue them in. Just put a bit of glue on the back and tuck them in, and again making sure that they don't hang over the edge. Now I can push that down, do this. So how many of you have had your eye on at least part of this suite, whether it's the paper or the embellishments or the twine or the stamp set or all of it? I have a downline and friend who has a real phobia about birds, and she was talking to me the other day and she said, guess what suite I'm getting? You're not going to believe it what I'm getting. And she's getting this, and she doesn't even like birds. So, oh, good. So what do you think? Then we're going to bring in some of this twine, this here, and really any of it would look nice on here as a bow. I happen to have some bows left over from another project, so I'm going to just add this, I think, right in about here. There we go. And just straighten those out a little bit. And yeah, that'll work. Bring in my glue dots. And we'll add the embellishments and the wink of Stella at the end, but we'll go inside and fix the inside before we go any farther. So isn't that looking neat? I like it. I hope you do too. So this doesn't look so neat though, right? So what you could do, what could you do to fix that? You could use the die and just cut out a blank white one and layer it behind, and it will be covered up like that. So that's one solution. Another solution is to stamp it and cut it out and put it like that. Or a third solution, if you're feeling patient, is to stamp it, color it, and die cut it. And then you've got this on the inside too. And I was having such a good time coloring, I decided to do that. And I'm going to, this part here is already on dimensionals, right? So I'm going to put a dimensional, just a mini here and here, and then I'll put a bit of glue here, and then everything should be pretty even. So we'll put some here So I'm just figuring out where to put some glue so that I don't put it where I don't want it, right? Did I need to take the backings off? There we go. And we will cover up that mess. And while doing that, we will decorate the inside as well. Doesn't that look neat? Who likes that touch? I wouldn't do 100 cards like this, but to do a special card, yeah, I like it a lot. I wonder, it's looking a little funny right there. I wonder if we need a little after the fact, of course. I wonder if we need a little bit of something here. I'll play with that after. Now, the embellishments. So, where did I put them? I had them in my hot little hand while I was showing them to you. And put them down somewhere. How many of you did that? Did you people see where I shared today that I had been looking all over for the little reindeer pieces? And I found them stuck in an artificial plant today. And I can't even blame the grandkids. It was me. But who knows what I was thinking. So now we've got these, and we could use any of these colors. They would all look good, but I'm leaning towards these. Let's just see, where should we put them? I'm going to put one, no, I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put another one here somewhere, and another one over here. That way too, when I open it up, I've still got an embellishment on the inside. That kind of thing makes me happy. So, oh, and Wink of Stella. Here we go. And I think I'm just going to Wink of Stella the berries. And for those of you not familiar with Wink of Stella, it's like liquid glitter. So it just adds a tiny bit of sparkle, hard to see on the camera, but in real life it's there, and it just adds. Maybe we'll add to these too. Why not, right? We've got it. That's one of the dangers of Wink of Stella. You want to use it on everything. And so there you have it. So now we've got a nice Thanksgiving card with the Winterly Treetops set. And you've seen pretty much everything in action here. So that is that one. Need to put a little block or something to hold that down. There we go. I made a circular one, so a Christmas one here. And I stuck with cherry cobbler and shaded spruce, and this is a new ribbon too. This ribbon is this gorgeous ribbon right here. It's near the front. It comes in the suite that you find these things in, and it ties beautifully. It's soft, it's not bulky, it would mail easily, all that kind of thing. So there are the two seasons right there. So let me just show you a few more cards made with the Nests of Winter. So this one here, again, uses the wreath, but it's top and bottom. And you see a few more of those branchy things here. And the twine, so there you see this designer paper there. This is just using a chunk of that gorgeous designer paper, putting a sentiment on it, and then there's the birch 3D embossing folder in the back, and again the embellishments. Here is one using this same paper that was used here, using some of the dies from, again, this one, and this one opens up like this. So this is, the birds were cut out right from the paper, and this was an edge piece. So the reason these words are here is because that was the edge, and I was covering up the fact the birds didn't have any feet. Then there's this one here. So this is more springy looking. And there we go, just like that. And then it opens up again. So this was cased from Brenda Nelson. But I loved the fold, and I loved the colors, and I loved how she used the stamps in a different way. So like that. This one here is showing using the frame and some sponging in the middle and just some fun coloring. If you don't like to color, you can cut it right out of the paper. Again, this is just very striking and it's on its own, so I think it would look really great for a sympathy card or somebody going through a tough time. This one here, they used this frame here as a mask and just sponged and you with the blending brushes and had that like that. This one looks a little more wintry. So these were made when I didn't have some of the embellishments and I was using some old embellishments that I really liked, but there we have it right there. And you've got your pool party happening, and this is some of your blues, but yet they still look wintry. Again, another one with the frame like that. And then this one, remember I said this looks like pussy willows, but you know, you can get a little bit creative, right? If you put them on this side, they can be Christmas lights, right? Or just lights. So you, depending on what colors you color them. So there is all kinds of potential with this suite of products. And if you're somebody who likes to say, well, I really would like to know, be able to use it for more than one occasion, I think this is maybe deserves a second look. So here's the card we made tonight, and here's the Christmas version of the same card. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to be on the lookout for my class on this. Also, be sure that you are signed up for the live catalog reveal on Wednesday morning. So I'll put all those links in the descriptions. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed your long weekend and have a fabulous week. Take care. Bye-bye.